Hi, welcome to keyboard rehearsals at Shea Manors in London. It's May 2014 and we're hard at it working on aspects of keyboard parts for playing at Real World in August.
This is actually, it's the first time we've actually got together. A scant, how many months have we got? May, June, a couple of months.
2.5 months.
It'll be alright on the night. Yeah. There are so many keyboards on the original albums that have been put down by Andy, by David, by guest musicians like Andy Tillison, and then by myself from English Electric on that. It's too much for two pair of hands to cover, and we did decide, I think Greg decided fairly early on that he wanted to go to try and capture quite a lot of what was on the albums rather than go for a more kind of stripped down rock and roll approach. So we are a six-piece band. We have the luxury of having Andy, who is kind of a full-time producer, and who's also available mostly to play keyboards, second keyboards on the at Real World and at gigs, as well as a bit of acoustic guitar you're going to be doing, and
a little bit of guitar.
And backing vocals, where most of us are having to go at the backing vocals, God help us. The aim is certainly very much to do it live and not to depend on any backing tracks or anything like that, because it just kind of defeats the purpose really. So to that end, I'm playing keyboards, Andy's playing keyboards most of the time, and Richard Scherblum will be playing some keyboards when he's not busy with guitars. So it's been quite a big job, and the first thing we had to do was, I had to do, was go through the tracks that we'd chosen and just work out what the hell was actually down there, and who was going to play what. Drew up a little spreadsheet. It's not really a spreadsheet, it's not kind of formulas in it. Just little blocks lining up to see what I could and couldn't do, and then we distributed the parts, and then you've got the small business of trying to play them and trying to memorise them, which is quite a challenge on some of the longer numbers. And I don't think it's any secret that we're doing the Under 4 Yard, the title track of the Under 4 Yard, which is 22 minutes, is it?
Just a bit over.
So quite a lot to keep in your head. One of the things that you've got to do, well, the main thing actually that keyboardists have to do, as well as get the notes together, is set up all their patch changes and sounds. Certainly for something like Big Train, where it's quite orchestral, it's pretty much, most of it is pretty fixed in advance, and there are a lot of different keyboard sounds used. So what we're doing for Real World is using completely software-based keyboards, soft synths or virtual instruments. So these two keyboards here are just MIDI controllers. They have no internal sounds. Andy has similar over there. And then this laptop runs some software which hosts things called plugins, which are virtual instruments or effects, plugins in some cases, and some software there can be configured so that you can decide what you want to play on which keyboard. You can split the keyboard so you've got multiple sounds depending on where on the keyboard you play, etc, etc. So beginning of the Under 4 Yard, for example, yeah, I mean, we've got some Fender Rhodes at the top. And at the bottom I've got some piano, bass notes. And some samples for the tolling of the bell there. What have I got up here? Oh yeah, this nice. So that's that, but if I change with a foot switch down there, because hands might well be tied up playing stuff, to the next patch, then we've got an organ and so on and so forth. And as I say, a lot of what the work you have to do is just setting all this up, because it can get pretty complex in places. There are one or two places where we're doing little. I don't think they're cheats. They're things that are nice on the albums, and we just couldn't do them otherwise. There's the beginning of one track, which I won't tell you what it is, but anybody, it's a good test, but you should know what this is. Where there's a lot going on, and I think David came up with a nice sort of 7-time arrangement of some glockenspiels and marimbas. Was that David's concoction on this particular track?
It was,
You
yes.
know the one I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yes, it was, yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
he put it in the middle of the song,
Okay.
and I thought I'd pluck it out and stick it at
Good
the
move.
beginning.
Good move. It's very nice, but it starts off with. And then there's 3 marimba parts build up. So the first one is. Now, I could actually play those two together. Unfortunately, I've then got a synth line. So this is an example where I did a little cheat and just have a little loop of this glockenspiel. So I can just. Oh, forgot to trigger it again. So now I've got hand free to be able to go. So this has been our life for the last month.
And will continue more intensely
And will
to be.
continue to be. And that's not even covering actually practicing the actual notes, but that's actually well, I don't know, I'm used to that. You may not be. having led the luxurious life of a producer rather than a keyboard player.
Yeah, it's a different discipline, but it's a great challenge, and it's all coming together very well. So
it's very exciting. It is quite a thrill actually hearing this stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just even badly played at the moment, you know, just to hear it in real life and not on the album. So we're really looking forward to doing it at Real World, spending 5 days with the guys, and hopefully we'll produce something that you'll all find very enjoyable.
we hope so. Thanks very much. Bye.